On this week's show,
we talk about Jessica Jones, starring Christine Ritter, who's got a face like a human sex doll.
Well, April going, is it?
I see the new Tomb Raider movie and there are no cone-shaped boobies in sight.
Nigel and I talk about the PlayStation 4 Playlink games and how awesome they are at parties.
You know it was International Women's Day. I'm not sure we're going to get away with that.
She does have a face like a human sex doll.
Stay tuned, guys.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, geeks alike, people who have superpowers, people who raid tombs, people who play PlayStation 4s, and people who refer to themselves as Jedis. It's this week's Monkey Nut Bunch podcast. And by the way, I sexually identify as a sea captain. And on the podcast this week, I have Keith. Say hello, Keith.
Hello, Keith.
I also have Nigel, but only in spirit. Knock it off. Nige had his plans changed at the last minute. He wasn't fucking happy, I can tell you that. But me and him sat down and we recorded some bits, so we were going to insert a segment halfway through. So this week on the board we've got Jessica Jones, released Thursday on Netflix, which was surprising for me. We've got Tomb Raider. Myself and Nige talk about the PS4 Playlink. And then we're going to talk about Star Wars Rebels and some other Star Wars bits thrown in. So let's get on with the show!
Woohoo!
Okay. First things first, Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones dropped on Thursday, which surprised me. Because it was like I flicked on Netflix and it went, Jessica Jones. And I was like, this stuff usually drops on a Friday.
Yeah, I got a notification saying on Thursday going, Jessica Jones has dropped. I went, what? Hang on. I was expecting that tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. I'm a bit worried that they dropped it earlier so they could say they had higher viewing figures across the weekend than they did before. Mm-hmm. Which is something in Hollywood they do when they release certain films on a Wednesday, so they can sit there and say, "Well, our box office for the first weekend was this," including the Wednesday and Thursday that you threw in as a bonus. I watched it. I liked it. Thought it was okay, and then I didn't like it. It's a bit worrying because the Purple Man in the first series was such a big element to it. Not having him properly in the series, I felt was a little bit detrimental. But the good side of it is they do have a working formula because she's a private eye. So you can go through those crime stories. So there is a formula they can work with. But to break down Jessica Jones in 3 parts, yeah, it starts off, the first third of it is like a mystery, trying to find out who's doing all these killings and why they're doing all these killings. And then you uncover the thing behind the mystery, and you find out it's Jessica's mum and this scientist working behind it. Shit, spoilers alert. And then it turns into the last third, which is dealing with a relative who seems to have mental illness. And it doesn't matter if you've got superpowers. It is like dealing with someone who's suffering from some kind of degenerative kind of thing where, like you get dementia and stuff in old age. But this person kind of lashes out violently and has superpowers. And that kind of, it kind of was a bit of a fucking Debbie Downer for me when it got to that kind of stage. The first bit where it was a mystery, it was really good because I thought that given the fact that you saw the crispy person in the flashback, and I will refer to them as the crispy person, who was Jessica's mum, I thought that there was a superhuman person going around who was, how can I put it, taking the faces off of people and wearing them, which I thought was a really good idea. And then when it didn't happen, I was a bit kind of, oh, it's her mum, which was a good twist. That was good. But I think they changed from the original story because if I remember, in the first series of Jessica Jones, they show her having a crash with a lorry full of chemicals. And those chemicals were the same chemicals that Daredevil got doused with.
I thought that was the case, but no, you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it because I did it. When it comes to characters, the character who came off worse in the entire series is Trish.
Yep, you're going to say You're
She was
voicing
terrible.
everything. I've got all the stuff you're making out here is all in my notebook. You're making exactly the same points as me.
Trish starts off as someone being trying to be helpful but being selfish at the same time too. Yeah, she wants her to investigate the people behind it because she wants a story, not because she thinks Jessica Jones will get anything from it. She says that, but she doesn't seem to demonstrate that, if that makes sense.
I think she's a terrible person, and by the end of it, she's
revealed to be a terrible person.
She's horrible. I really, really dislike Trish. I wasn't a big fan of Jessica in the first series, and most of the way through this, I was indifferent about her.
Yeah, same here.
Until the end. Those last couple of episodes, I sympathised with her.
Yeah.
And then how she didn't kill Trish, I do not know, because I would have ripped her fucking head off.
Yeah, the other one I felt really sorry was for Malcolm.
Yes. See, he's the only redeeming character in it. To me, he's the only one throughout until the end, and then he goes the other way a little bit. I'm less sympathetic.
Yeah, but it was hang on a second. It was a case of I've been good to you, now fuck you. Yeah, because you've not been good to me.
Yeah,
and you understand that.
Did he have to join that twat bag? I mean, that guy is just a twat bag. There's no other way to put it. He's a cock.
I didn't think he was that cockish. It was the bit where he kind of jumped from checking her stuff out and stealing her kind of information to taking a sniper rifle to her. That was the bit that kind of got me.
He took a sniper rifle to the mum because the mum killed his associate or whatever.
But character-wise, there was no ramp up to that.
No, there wasn't.
And because there was no ramp up to that, it didn't feel right. All you had to do was have him go and purchase an illegal firearm. That would have done for me. Purchase an illegal firearm, show that he's fucking fuming, could be carrying matey's dog tags and that. And then you've got who's it? Simpson character, Nuke, the one with the inhaler.
Yeah.
They kind of wasted him. I was a bit pissed that they killed him off as quick as they did. It did have a good effect though when they were running, thinking, "Oh shit, it's after Trish," and it turns around and goes, "No, not after Trish. She's after Simpson." And then he gets killed, and then she gets his inhaler. So the Nuke character's kind of... Is it Nuke? I'm sure it's Nuke. What's his name? He was kind of wasted. Jessica Jones. Kristen Ritter's got a face, how can I put it? Like a blow-up sex doll. She has. Yeah, she's got small nasal cavities, so she has to keep her gob open when she's breathing in between takes. All right? But she's got a face. If you remember the episode of Only Fools and Horses... where they had the sex dolls with the with the explosive gas in. Yeah. She reminds me of one of the faces that popped up in the window before it fucking exploded.
She works as Jessica Jones, but it's like all of these Netflix Marvel series, and the more we see of them, the more there's several things that convince me. First off, the only one of the title of 4 heroes that you like is Luke Cage, but only because he's the most boring in many respects.
Oh, I would have said Daredevil.
No, he's horrible. Matt Murdock is horrible.
Matt Murdock is not... I don't think Matt Murdock is horrible. I think he suffers from like a obsession. He tries...
He comes
not
across
to be
as
horrible.
A complete, no offence, bit of a cunt in the second series. He is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the bad language.
I need to fogging Cameron.
But that's because Foggy's... But again, you see... Where Jessica Jones and Daredevil share something, there's one likable character, and in Daredevil it's Foggy, and in the other one it's in Jessica Jones it's Malcolm. Karen Page is a bit of a whiny old what's its face,
I would say she did drop whiny wise in the second series.
Yeah, but she becomes a bit. I don't know. She's not as likable in the second series. And Matt Murdock certainly isn't. And I think the thing that really, it's not the heroes that are compelling in any of these. Daredevil, it's Fisk. He is the most compelling and interesting character. And he made season 1 work. It's the only reason that season 1 has any cred is because of Fisk. In the second season, because of the mystery of who the Hand were, and because of Elektra and all those other things, it kept that second season going. Jessica Jones, the first season, the only reason the first season works isn't Jessica Jones, isn't Trish, it's Kilgrave. Because he was... Tennant put in such a performance, it was amazing. And in
the way they portrayed him for the first third of that, they portrayed him as fucking unstoppable.
Yes.
Yeah? Seriously, you thought this guy was unstoppable, and it was like, how the fuck are you going to beat him? Yeah? It gave you that impression that you would be fucked. It's like kind of if you put Kilgrave and Professor X in the room at the same time, he'd beat Professor X because he could just tell him. The only people who would be immune to him would be Wolverine and Deadpool because they got regenerative healing factors. That's a comic geek coming out there.
But you're right. But that was the thing, and the second season lacked that, and therefore the cracks that were in the first season are very much more apparent in this. I followed it. It is way too long. There's too many episodes, and again, all of these Marvel series have suffered from this, and this is why Defenders worked slightly better, because it was only 8 episodes, and therefore the action was quicker. Whereas with this, I think this could have been 6 to 8 episodes, and you wouldn't have lost anything. There is a hell of a lot of fluff in this.
You know what? Yeah, I agree with you. 6 to 8 episodes would have done that well,
and it would have been better. I still think you've got to make your heroes more likable. And if you're going to get rid of the compelling bad guys, you have to make your heroes more likable. And it kind of works towards the end of Jessica Jones, but again, only because you end up sympathising her, because I suppose his best mate just killed her mother. And, for completely selfish reasons. And at the end of the day, this is the thing that I don't think the writers think Trish is as bad as she comes across, but she is.
She is. She's turning into the villain. I'm hoping next season next season she becomes a full-blown villain.
Yeah, but Hellcat,
I would prefer that.
Hellcat was a hero.
I don't rewrite it. Turn it, make her a villain. It would work much better.
Blatantly setting it up for a third season, and I will watch it. I didn't dislike this. I think it was way too long. I think it was an interesting story, and from a drama point of view, it was good. But it's just on another note, right? When you were getting towards the end, did the Hogarth story become more interesting than the main story? Yes.
Because I found that I was watching that going, she's right, you're going to get fucked over. And then she came back to her empty fucking house and was like, shit, you got really fucking done in. And I actually really appreciate that story. It was completely superfluous, if I can get that word out. The story didn't need it. If I were to take a pair of scissors to the series and cut bits out of it, that would be one of the things. But the damn annoying thing is, it worked really well. It was a
13-episode filler. You're right. And yes, if you're going to cut the fluff, yes, you would have had to have cut that. But that was a more interesting story. It kept those last few episodes alive.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I still think it was too long, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you completely. I think we're both in very much agreement on this. But
the other thing too was don't trust that fucking doctor. He's a Cylon. I haven't said that in ages.
Yes, he
Don't trust him. He's a Cylon.
But Trish has obviously got powers, and I mean they kept hinting at the Hellcat because when I think it's either the 12th or the 13th episode, the nurse comes in and says to her she's used 2 of her 9 lives, and I went, that isn't a reference. And then she does that thing with her phone at the end. But if the writers are seriously intending on making her a hero, I don't think you can. I don't think you can redeem her. She's just a bitch.
Yeah.
And a selfish one.
Yeah.
There is nothing like her. There is nothing likable about her at the end.
Even at the beginning, there was nothing likable about her.
In the first episode or two, you think, okay, you might be trying to help her. But then as it carries on, you just think, no, you're a bitch.
I don't believe she was. It didn't come across that way. I did like the joke with Malcolm where he got fired 4 times in a row in the first 4 episodes, and that was like a running gag.
Yeah.
But it then turned sour, which I kind of like the note that they took there with it. And then it was like kind of the Kilgrave episode. Was it 11?
Again,
3 and
pointless.
counting.
It really annoyed me that because you got that such compelling character and you basically put him in there for a laugh.
I didn't think it was a laugh. I felt it worked, but I would have had the twist be that Kilgrave was still alive and he was trying to get hold of this scientist so he could fix his fucking broken neck. That would have been the twist. Yeah, she broke his neck, but she didn't fucking kill him. Yeah, and then he had the opportunity to get someone to whisk him away and look after him, and then from there, he was using it to rebuild his spine. Okay, it would have been a bit fucking cliche, but it would have been him fucking coming out in a wheelchair at the end, going. That would have been a bit because she needs that character to work. And
so if you're going to do a third
job.
series, you need a compelling bad guy in this. I can see a third series of this happening. Here's what I would do with the others. We're going to get a second season of Luke Cage. I have a feeling that might be quite good.
I think if they do a second series of Luke Cage, it needs to be Luke Cage and Danny Rand together, and forget doing an Iron Fist. Don't forget doing an Iron Fist separately, and forget doing a Luke Cage separately. Put them together.
I don't like Danny Rand, and I don't like the character. He was miscast, and even I think Netflix are beginning to see that. I wouldn't do a second series of Iron Fist. I wouldn't go anywhere near it. I'll just have Rand in the thing. Here's what I want to see. I want to see a Misty and Colleen team up, because they do in the comics, and that is far more interesting, because the only fucking thing that was good about Iron Fist was Colleen. And not because she was hot, because she's an interesting character, and she kicked ass. And then the Defenders kind of set it up at the end, or massively into it, because you got Misty Knight and Colleen. Now they are, I can't remember the name of them in the comics, but they do form a team up. That would be interesting. Misty Knight and Colleen do team up.
Yeah.
And that will be a really interesting thing. I mean, how they going to do the whole arm thing, because in the comics, Misty has Stark Tech. But
all right, okay, let's draw a line under this. So, out of 10, what do you give it?
It's between a 5 and a 6.
Between a 5 and a 6. Well, I'll make it easy. If I give it a 4.
So we'll say 5.
It falls below as series as a whole. The first third I liked, the middle not so much, and the last bit I didn't care. So they kind of missed something there. So it gets a 4 because overall it falls below the watermark for me. So it's a not recommended from me because it just falls below the watermark by the narrowest of narrow margin, which means someone somewhere is going to love the crap out of it. And yeah.
I think there's some drama there, and it's just way too long. That's the problem. The story you were trying to tell through this was just, it didn't fit 13 episodes. You know, the Daredevil season 2 had its issues with length, but it at least handled it better than Jessica Jones did. But then the first season was similar in that respect, that Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, none of these series really need to be as long as they are.
Okay. All right. Let's have a brief message from one of our sponsors. Show Athlete's Foot Spray contains 1% tenofla. Yeah. Okay. All right. You want to talk about Tomb Raider?
What the fuck was that about?
It's a really bad bump, mate. That's what that is. I just wanted a way to get you off one thing into another, because I know you get something between your teeth and you'll just go on and on about it, and I just needed to get you to Tomb Raiderville.
Now, that's a good film. I've seen Tomb Raider.
It's a good film.
And I liked it. I would go as far to say it's probably one of the best gaming conversion film movies I've seen. In fact, it probably is. It's better than the Angelina Jolie ones. I think she's a better Lara. She's a more interesting Lara. But this is an origin one. And I think that's why. You see, when I think Jolie was well cast as Lara back then, the Lara that we saw, from the original games, because she had the figure and she had everything else. But, now that the games have sort of been redone and they've sort of embraced their feminism a bit more and, made her chest a more realistic size and everything, this kind of leads into that. I really enjoyed it, actually. I saw it yesterday, and I liked the twist in it. It really implies it's going to go down the supernatural route. And even up until the very last second, you think this is a supernatural thing. Then it twists. And there's a scientific explanation for it. And I liked that. I thought, that's quite good. Because you really don't think it's going to go that way. And it does at the end. Blatantly, there's going to be a sequel, as long as it does well, because it sets up this mystery group called Trinity, which I believe are in the latter games, if I remember rightly.
I don't know, because I've got the new Tomb Raider games. Last Tomb Raider I played to completion was the anniversary edition, where they got the bird from Spooks. What's the name?
Keeley Hawes.
Keeley Hawes doing the voiceover. And then the new one came out, and I got it on PlayStation Plus for free on PS3. Tanith played half of it, and then I didn't get around to playing it at all. So I've got it. Just need to play it. Actually, I think I've got it on I think I got it on Steam too. I own 2 copies of it and haven't played it. Terrible.
I played the first one of the new batch, but it was a while back. But I believe Trinity it was setting up Trinity in that. Anyway, they're a mystery group that go around trying to find artifacts and things, but it's not supernatural. It's scientific. And yeah, it's a good film. It's a good film. It's not an amazing film. It's not like wow, the best film ever. But it's not a bad film. It's a good popcorn movie.
I was going to say that the whole thing, it sounds like fucking Uncharted, because that's what Uncharted did.
Yes, it is very much.
Where it turns around, it looks supernatural, but it turns out it's like the end of the first games. I imagine if they had the chance, they would sit there and say that they were cordyceps zombies, like you get in The Last of Us for the first Uncharted. But yeah, that does the same. What was it? Who wrote it? Because Terry Pratchett's daughter wrote the treatment for the redo of Tomb Raider.
I don't know, but all I can say is that I think it's probably one of the best conversion film, get video game to movies I've seen. There's a couple of things in there that there's a puzzle that she has to solve, and it's a blatant nod.
Just push boxes around, does she?
No, she has to. There's a collapsing floor, and she has to work out a puzzle in order to open a door so they can escape. So that is that nod, and there's a few other little sort of Tomb Raider-y nods in there. But in all, it's a good popcorn flick. It's a good film.
Okay. All right.
And she is very good. She is quite a good Lara. Her neck is nowhere near as big as it is in that god awful poster they made. Somebody using Photoshop got a bit Photoshop happy.
Made a giraffe
look like a giraffe. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to drone on about your drone for a moment, and then just pop a marker in. It'll all make sense in the edit.
I got nothing to drone on about my drone. I still haven't got it back. It's still in China or Hong Kong or wherever the fuck it is. This is week 5 now. It's 5 weeks.
Keith, shut up. It's our turn now.
Shut it, you muppet.
All right. Is he quiet? I can't tell.
I can't tell.
Okay, all right.
He's iced in again.
He's iced in.
You're listening to the Monkey Nut Punch podcast.
Okay, so me and Nigel are recording this separately from the podcast because we haven't got the opportunity to all sit down together. Nigel wants to go over some bits that happened with his PlayStation and maybe talk some Flash talk. And I want to talk about Jessica Jones, which I imagine Keith's probably harping on about. And if I've done this right, I've probably interjected in the middle of him talking. And then it'll probably pop out the other side. So it's like he's been talking while we've been going.
3 hours later.
Anyway.
He does love to talk like that.
He does love to talk. That's why he does a podcast, so he can get it out of his fucking system. Otherwise he'd be sitting there just talking no end.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about PlayStation, all right? Because the latest PlayStation firmware came out, and it's 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah, it's 5.5, and it's supposed to have a few new features. One of them is your super sampling thing. But I think you had some issues.
Yeah. Yeah, it was released overnight, and I don't leave my PlayStation on rest mode. I don't leave it on rest mode. No point really. Well, you could argue that it would download all the stuff overnight while you're not using it, but I turned it on. My child wanted to have a little go, and it wouldn't turn on. The same. It was completely fine the night before they played, but the next morning, no, wouldn't work. So I had to sit there and wait for it. It's just the white light was flashing. Nothing was displayed up on the TV. No, nothing. It was just black.
So you didn't get the blue because you get blue light when it's on, orange when it's in rest mode, and white light.
It was a white light going left to right,
like the Cylons.
Like the Cylons. I was sat there looking at it, going, just wait a minute, because sometimes when you turn it on, it'll do the white light for about 5 seconds, and then it'll turn blue when it's starting to boot up and into the OS. But it didn't do anything. I left it a few minutes and was like, okay. So I've got to hold down the power button. That didn't do anything. So I had to pull it off at the plug. And left it a few minutes, turn it back on. Then it went into recovery mode.
Okay.
Safe mode.
Yeah, I've done that. I had to do it a few times with crashes and bits.
Yeah, so it sort of rebuilds it or whatever, doing that. And then once it's done that, it's gone, 100% complete. It restarted. I'm like, okay, here we go. And it went back into safe mode again.
Yeah.
And then it got stuck. And I was sitting there going, fuck me. The update, they must do something like to the PlayStation. When it sends a signal to the PlayStation to say there's an update, I think there must be an issue with that.
Yeah.
Because obviously I hadn't downloaded the update at that point. When I finally did manage to get it working, I must have restarted it about 4 or 5 times before it finally decided that it would load to the desktop. And then it said, there's an update. And I thought, oh God, that's probably what the issue was, because, sometimes these things don't go smoothly. And
just hang on. Just because this is something Keith would say, did you check to see if there was a bit of toast in it? Because I know that he'd be wanting to say that. Because there was a bit of toast in it, wasn't it? It's like, I don't know.
The kids have learnt that shit doesn't go near the PlayStation. There's no drinks or food allowed within a 5-foot radius of the TV and PlayStation. Because they know if they do, then they're not able to play any games.
Okay.
Anyway, so when you go to the notifications, you can see that there's an update, and it's trying to download the update.
Yeah.
And it was going incredibly slowly. I've got good broadband.
I had this too, because my broadband's 100 megs a second, which is fabulous, apart from when I was downloading the update like you were, I was getting half a meg a second, which is fucking like 0.5% of what it should be. So I had to switch. I cancelled the download, changed it from wired to wireless, because naturally you think wired, you're not going to get much interference.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I was getting interference. Real fucking pain in the ass. And then it then seemed to work. So I had that problem too.
Yeah. And mine was going probably a lot slower because it was doing it in kilobytes. Like not even getting to a meg. So it was stopping, getting to a meg, and then restarting back to 0 again. So it'd take about 10-15 seconds to get to a meg. Now I know typically my PlayStation would download at about 4 megabytes every second. And now my bandwidth is obviously much more than that. It's over 36 megabyte, fiber. But it would download at about 3. This was doing, 10 kilobytes or something. It'd get to a meg, and then you're like, it's restarted. I was sitting there, that isn't right. Not right at all. And had to Google it. So cancel the download. You know, if you're in a notification, if you do have this problem and it's not downloading quickly, go to the notifications, click on the downloads. I think it's options, and then just cancel download and delete. Yeah, cancel and delete. Then you can go to the settings and scroll down until you find the update. And then you click update and it will go, I found an update. And then it will start download at normal speed. It's fucked up. Why would... Sony is a massive company who have been doing PlayStation for how many years now? Yeah. Surely they'd have something like this up.
See, from me, when you describe that, my brain says maybe they set all the downloads off at once, divvied up all the bandwidth. Yeah, so they assigned everyone a bit of bandwidth, saying everyone's downloading at the moment in the UK or whatever time zone's running. Did it that way, and then because that had happened, that kind of you still had that allocated slot. So by cancelling download and re-downloading, like I did too, it then reissues you a new slot, and then there's less people downloading, and then you've got more bandwidth. Yeah.
The issue with that is, obviously, at the time they did it, my PlayStation was not on. It was not. It wasn't on rest mode or anything, so it shouldn't be trying to automatically download or update. Yeah. So because we tell it to shut down, we don't tell it to rest. Deliberately.
Yeah.
So I did find out that this has happened before. Since 5.05, other people on the internet, which is where I found the fix, are having the problem since download or update 5.05, which was a few back now.
See, with my PlayStation, I've got it so if you leave it on for long enough, it sounds like it wants to take off. And I've come to the conclusion that it's not happy underneath my TV, and it wants to see the world. So it's turning itself into a very crude jet engine so it can fuck off and see the world. I got an original. I got the second day release PlayStation. Yeah. Literally, I didn't get it first day. I got it the second day.
Well, to be fair, yours has lasted a lot longer than what mine did.
Yeah, I did. See, the things I have invalidate the warranty because I did open it up and dust it, and it made a hell of a fucking difference to it. Just opening it up and dusting it.
I don't. Actually, this might have been on a previous when we were gaming Face Punch. I can't remember, but I did do that. I did open it up because I was having issues where my disc was getting ejected.
I was getting that too. You had to reset the rubber foot on it.
I did that. I reset the rubber foot because the rubber foot, if it gets a bit hot, can expand and it will touch. On the earlier PlayStations, it wasn't a physical button.
It was a feather touch
eject button, and the rubber foot would, when it gets heated, would expand a bit. Touch it from underneath. Mind, it's not around the front, because the button would come down the front and come underneath a little bit.
Yeah,
and it's that bit that is underneath that it touches it just ever so slightly, and then it'll go, "Oh, kick the disc out, thank you."
Yeah,
and you're in the middle of a game, or you're watching a fucking film, or whatever, and it would just kick the disc out, and that was happening. At first, it wasn't so bad. I tried putting sellotape over it and things like that, to try and stop it being so sensitive. And I took the rubber foot off, everything.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it's like, do you know what? This is too much. So
this is the one thing where you traded it in and you were like, kind of,
please don't kick the disc out.
And then it kicked the disc out.
And it kicked the disc out, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Because I was sitting there thinking, it hasn't ever kicked the disc out on this game that she's trying.
Yeah.
I might get away with this. And then it went and kicked the disc out, and I went, "Oh, not you too!" You fucking felt that was Dragon Age Inquisition, actually.
Yeah.
And and I was thinking, I was playing that earlier, and then my kids tried playing the game, and it kept kicking the disc out, and coincidentally, it was the EA games which made the PlayStation run
So
hot.
the one that got me was it was Fallout 4, and there's a quarry. There's a quarry in Fallout 4. I can't remember what it's called, and
The Quaz.
the Quaz. It's in like the northeast sector of the map, and every time I go to the quarry, that's where it would crash. It would crash the game, eject the disc.
Too heavy.
Yeah, really annoying.
So hence why I now have a PS4, because I managed
PS4 Pro, you mean?
PS4 Pro.
You
Yeah.
kissed it.
I've still got PS4. Yeah. Because I managed to. She chose a different game.
Yeah.
Cleaned it up. She found that the rubber foot wasn't in properly. It was there, but not in properly. We can't take it if the rubber foot's not in properly. And I was thinking, it's not in properly for a fucking reason. They put it back in and stuff like that, and then it ran, and she did different things. I think she played Battlefront in the end.
Yeah.
Running around, and I was like, yeah, cool. Yeah, traded it in, and I was like, yes, got a Pro. Got rid of my shit heap. Yeah. Some poor sucker bought that, I think.
Yeah.
And then probably took it back and went, this isn't working. Yeah. And that's when I felt sorry for her. I don't ever see her in that shop anymore. She's probably
left. I made a bad decision. I have to go.
Yeah, I feel sorry for that. It's not her fault.
I was going to talk about Jessica Jones, but I'll leave that for Keith. I want to talk about Hidden Agenda.
Yes.
Because you're talking about PlayStation, and this was something that we played over Christmas.
Explain Hidden Agenda.
Right. Hidden Agenda's a PlayStation game that relies on a thing called Playlink, and Playlink uses an app on your phone to communicate to the PlayStation with. So as long as you're on that same network, you can communicate to it, which is great. So they released.
You basically open the game up, and you download the app on your phone. I think it works. I think you can download it on iPhones and any Android device. As long as you've got that app open and the game is running on the PlayStation, you click Find the Game on your phone.
Yeah.
And through the Wi-Fi, the magic of not even internet,
networking,
magic of networking, you can play with your mates that are in the same room, and there's a few games out now.
Yeah,
quite a few games.
we took it around our friend Gavin's house, Barbecue Gav, and we played.
Hello, Gav.
We played a game called That's You, which is like a really fun party game, and it came free on the PlayStation Network, and I've actually got it free with another bloody game that I bought. I think I got it free with Gran Turismo. And we played that, and we had a good laugh at that. So there's 6 of us all playing this kind of party game. And then we played this game called Hidden Agenda. And Hidden Agenda is a game from Supermassive Games, who did Until Dawn. Now, a lot of people didn't like Until Dawn, but I kind of like those games that take me on a detour. And there's another one called Knowledge is Power, which Nigel showed me now, which he bought.
I bought that one. And it was good fun.
Yeah,
it was. Good fun.
There's another new one out.
There's loads of new ones.
There's something Frantic, which looks really good because you have to do like balancing and shit.
It just uses your mobile phone as a device, as an interactive device that you can play with.
Or you can use your phone or any tablet.
Yeah, or tablet. Yeah, probably Kindles even.
Yeah. Apart from the one thing is you do have to be aware of it. Make sure you got a full fucking battery when you're playing, because you don't want to be the bastard who drops out when you have to stop the shooter from killing someone.
This is good. I would say good Christmas party games when you're over your family's house. You could bust that game out, and it's quizzy.
Yeah. So let me explain. Let me go back to Hidden Agenda, because Hidden Agenda is a murder mystery from Supermassive Games, who did Until Dawn, and I think they've done The Inpatient too. And I think did the Rush of Blood to the Head for the VR too. Anyway, the long and the short of it, you play a murder mystery, and you got Katie Cassidy, who played the Black Canary in The Arrow, and she's like the lead detective on this case, where they're trying to find out who this guy, this killer called the Trapper is. Now, apparently there's a guy who's sitting in jail who's been set up for the whole thing, and there's another guy out and about who's doing it. And the reason I bring it up is because last time Nigel came around my house at the weekend, we finished off playing Hidden Agenda.
Yeah.
And I'm really fucked off at him because he got the detective killed, so we couldn't find out what the fuck went on.
Now, it has to be said, the game gives you
hidden
individual tasks.
Yes.
And hence the word hidden agenda.
Yeah.
So each person on their phone, it will tell you what your task is to do. So you had one where
I had one where you don't drink that don't have a drink, yeah? And I tried to get everyone to stop having a fucking drink. And everyone just thought, oh no, it's not that drink, it must be another drink. And it's like, kind of, no, it's just this drink now.
You see, yeah, you had that, your wife had the opposite of you, and my wife had the opposite of your one. So theirs was, don't have a drink. Yours was, have a drink or something.
No, mine was, don't have a drink. Because as soon as I knew that, she was getting fucked over then.
Mine was to get her killed.
Yeah, which you didn't do very well.
I didn't do very well.
But still succeeded.
But I succeeded because I tried to select the one that would... I was the one who was reacting quickest to try and get her to escape. Yeah,
because you have these like little quick time events that pop on the screen, and you have to guide your little pointers into the like crosshairs or whatever. And sometimes when you play with family members who are not gamers, they're a little slow on the uptake, so you're dependent on the gamers to get those activities done. Yeah. So it's like, I think it starts off and you're in the room and you've got a chance to shoot the trapper or shoot the other person, and you have to kind of guide the mouse well, it's not mouse pointer, you kind of your touch screen pointer.
Finger, so you use your finger to stroke up your mobile.
Stroke up your mobile.
Yep. You know.
Yeah. And it was a really good party game. We played it with 6 of us at Christmas.
It took longer with 6, I think. Yeah, because there was a bit of
Oh, it was fun, but we didn't play the hidden agenda version of it. It was only when you guys came over on New Year's Eve we played the hidden agenda version of it. Yeah. And my brother and my sister-in-law came over and we played the full version of it, where you have a hidden agenda and you are playing against each other.
Yeah, and you get points for getting certain things.
It's a really good. It's the new version of Cluedo, I would describe it as. I don't think it's got the same last ability as Cluedo, but that's its closest thing when you come to those sort of party games.
Now, all I can do is say these Playlink games, it could be a way of PlayStation getting non-gamers involved in gaming in a way, because my wife is nowhere near, well, she doesn't like it.
She hates them. She
hates playing games and stuff. The closest she got was playing Buzz.
Yeah,
we used to play Buzz together.
Apart from she was like kind of male, female.
Male or female.
I'm going to go that as a choice.
What's the other choice? Hermaphrodite? I don't know.
That was funny. She was like, kind of.
That was game over.
I was like, kind of. It's like, I know she's not a native English speaker, but
she had a drink.
I'll
just give her that.
On the sauce.
Had a drink. Or 2. But these Playlinks are the next level to that, because that's you is a very good party game.
Yes,
I think. We played it with 6 people.
Yeah, we played.
I don't know if that was the maximum amount of people, but it was a good.
6 is the maximum. Sorry,
yeah, it was a very good party game. It's I don't know how to describe it adequately.
It's a game that focuses on asking questions around what a person would do in a certain situation or how a person would react. So we had if we got lost, who would be the person getting the angriest about it? So naturally, we all said Nige. Even Nigel said Nige, but Nigel's wife said me. That was the bit that got me. He's like, huh?
I did turn to her and said, "Did you say that just so I didn't get pissed off?"
I love that because you voted for you. That was the bit that got me. He goes, "Oh no, I know why I would."
And I joke at it.
Oh yeah,
to give me double points.
Yes, and you got a ton of points off the back end of that too.
Yeah, if you joke at your answer and everyone agrees with you, then you get double points for the amount of people that.
It's a really good party game. It's one of those ones that if you've got a PlayStation and PlayStation Plus, and you missed downloading it, go buy Gran Turismo because it comes free with that. And I think you get Gran Turismo for about under 20 quid now. Actually,
yeah. The game I got. Knowledge is power. Did we play that? I can't remember.
No, we didn't play that. That's the one we haven't played. So we've got to go on that.
Played that way. I can't wait to give that a go, because it'll be more of the same. And it gets more people involved. You don't have to be a gamer at all. It's all using your mobile phone. Yeah. The things are up on the screen. It gives you the different questions, different scenarios, different things. Yeah. There's a one where you have to mirror the selfie that's on the screen, and then you always have to vote for the best interpretation of that selfie.
That's a great one, actually. We used to then you have to take a picture. He's like, take a picture of yourself pulling this pose, and it pops up and you have to do it on the camera. And then the other one was was you get a picture. You all take selfies of yourself, and then you pass the pictures around, and people add pictures to make you look like an elf or Father Christmas. Yeah. To which I drew a big penis on Nigel's head because I didn't read the description. I was just getting carried away. I drew a knob on it, so some pubes on it, some ejaculate, and then it was like Jonathan covered it up with a hat.
Yeah, your wife's nice to me like that.
It's like, oh.
Because what it does is you all take your own selfies on your own phones, then it will shuffle it up and send those pictures to everyone else's phones, and each one will have its own scenario that you need to draw. And then you have about 20 seconds to draw what you can, and then it all moves around again. You don't get yourself, and you get yourself at the end. Yeah. To see what people have done to
it's
you.
Quite amusing.
And then it all goes up on the screen.
And we all have a good giggle. We just have a good giggle.
She's the best one.
Well, but we all have a good giggle, and it was quite good.
Laugh.
And it was the one. What would Gareth do at the end of the world? And everyone put like trying to have a threesome. I was like, how do you know me so well?
Everyone, including himself, chose have a free. You get a choice. Yeah, you get a choice of different things. And I joke at that one.
Oh God!
And so did Tanif.
Yes, she was properly running away with that. The thing is that Ying, I think Ying came
storming up the end.
No, she didn't. She beat us at Hidden Agenda. That was it. Yeah. She was the out and out player at Hidden Agenda.
No, I won Hidden Agenda because I got her killed and I got the bonus points.
Yeah, but only at the end. The funny thing,
at the end. Yeah.
But the thing with the Hidden Agenda was like you had the thing where it was playing out and the copper was running through, and we had to make that shot. And you were the closest one. You almost made the shot in time.
Almost made it, and that would have meant I lost.
Yeah, and I was trying to make the bloody shot too, and I was so annoyed because
only when I realised that I didn't make the shot, and if I had, she would have survived, and then I would have failed.
Yeah,
and it was purely it wasn't straight away when I realised.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
It was still a good game. And I'm so annoyed because I want to see what happens at the end, but we've got to sit through the whole fucking beginning bit. The funny thing is, if you get the copper killed at the beginning, he gets replaced with some rando Asian fella. Yeah, so you got some 40-year-old Asian fella. It's like kind of, I'm now your partner. It's like, you should keep away from schools, mate. It was a poor actor. I don't know if the way they animated him, but it's it was good. That was good. Playlink's a really good thing. Playlink is the new kind of like,
dare I say it, the new Wii for Christmas. Because at Christmas,
no, I wouldn't say that.
The only people at Christmas who would play the Wii. No, actually, let me put it another way. At Christmas, the only time I could get my parents to play a console game was on the Wii, and I think the only time I could get my parents or say my sister play a video game is with Playlink now.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting in that.
It is, and it's like my sister-in-law. She doesn't like video games. To the point that she won't let my brother own a games console. I was thinking about getting a new PlayStation 4, just get like the slim one, and then giving him that to wind her up. It's like, you have a PlayStation, I go, here's Call of Duty. See you next year. I could imagine him on that. But yeah, it's a really good game, and if you get a chance to play any of these things with a group of people, especially those who don't play games, then do it. And I think that we should now return to Keith. I think he's still yammering on. Let's listen.
I'm a fucking Chinese still in fucking China. I'm so fucking pissed off.
You're listening to the Monkey Nut Punch podcast.
Star Wars Rebels finished.
It did.
I haven't seen it because I got a new Virgin box. And it's not set up to record Star Wars Rebels, so I'm going to have to go and catch them on the internet. Apparently it had a weird time-travelling temple, which everyone's looking at going, well, maybe this can undo The Last Jedi. It's like kind of, maybe it could.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, having watched Rebels to its conclusion, I disliked The Last Jedi even more. and it actually makes me angry. And every time I see this Rian Johnson defending his decisions, I just want to slap him. I really do. You're talking bollocks. Because you weren't interested in the bad guy that you were given, you decided to just kill him off, which is just the lowest form of creativity I've ever seen, and it's bollocks. And they're supposedly giving this guy 3 more movies, and I don't think I'll go and see them.
What was it? They were talking about the Star Wars things, and apparently J.J. Abrams wrote the notes for the next 3. So he had a rough idea who Snake was, he had a rough idea where Rey came from, he had a rough idea. Apparently Rian Johnson threw them all out.
Yeah, he did.
This was called to Daisy Ridley. Is it Daisy Ridley?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So she turned around and said that he threw them all out, which is like, great. So you've spent all this money with it. You hired J.J. Abrams, he's probably the most expensive director in Hollywood. Might not be the best, but he's probably the most expensive. Yeah. And you threw out his fucking ideas, which he set up. And having the whole mystery box thing is fine, apart from when you open up the box and find it's fucking empty. Which is probably the best analogy for it. But going back to it, yeah, he threw all that out, and that's the other reason that the director... Who was the director they got rid of? Trevor?
Colin Trevor, the guy that...
Colin Trevor.
Yeah, Trevorrow or
Jurassic
something.
World, yeah. Colin, yeah. Because he wanted Snoke and Luke to be alive so he could do his film. And it looks like he had a falling out over the fact that they killed them off.
Yeah. And the more I see this Rian Johnson defending it, the more I think he's an arrogant tosspot. And it really hasn't gone down well with the fans, and it's still going. I mean, say what you like about The Force Awakens, it certainly went down better with the fans than this one has.
Yeah.
But you go to Rebel...
Well, I'm going to say, I can get behind the whole greatest hits. Yeah?
Mm.
The only problem I really had was Rey's character was a Mary Sue. Yeah? An example is the Leia not hugging Chewie. Yeah? Because a Mary Sue is someone who doesn't struggle with fucking anything, and everybody likes her. And if Leia is going out to hug a woman that she has no knowledge of, over Chewie, you've created a Mary Sue there, and whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is, if she was going to develop into a bad guy because things came too easy for her, which fits with the whole dark side, yeah, think of how easy these things come from. No training, no patience, yeah? She hasn't had to go through any of that, which makes her a dark side user.
I think this is kind of a bit of karma going on because they threw out Lucas's treatments through all 3 episodes, and you read rumours about Lucas's treatments, and you think actually they could have been quite good. They did it because they thought there would be massive fan backlash, but actually what they've done is created a far worse fan backlash. And actually, I wish they hadn't made these damn episodes. As I keep saying, I actually think Solo might be quite good because Rogue One was, and Rogue One is a good film. And you go and watch that again, and watch it again. To me, it gets better. There are
I don't think it does. It doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up for me. It starts becoming a bit stupid in places. It does. The characters all make sense. Is the first thing. Yeah, you've got what's a Miss so yeah, she's not a Mary Sue. It's the first thing, which I appreciate. So nothing comes easy to her. Yeah, there's probably one example of her looking like a Mary Sue, but outside that, she's not, which is fine. It's just the bit where they get attacked by the stormtroopers in the alley, and she kind of takes them down way too easily. But that's the only time. And you know what? Once you can get away with once.
It's a Star Wars movie. They do that quite a bit in Star Wars. You have to forgive it certain things because it is a Star Wars film. But I actually like Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was quite a brave film in many respects, and it works. And it explained the age-old thing of the Death Star, which I also appreciated, and I liked how it ended. Yes, there was some dodgy CGI with Leia. Yes, there was some dodgy CGI with Moff Tarkin. But you needed Moff Tarkin in there, and it worked. I like Rogue One. I like Rebels more, and I think who's ever been writing Rebels, and we go back to this time traveling thing. I'm in two minds about this time traveling thing because
hang on a second, because I heard about this time traveling thing, and I was a bit worried.
Time travel.
Hang on, hold on. I was a bit worried, but when I watched the way that they did it, I was okay with it because it wasn't like Doctor Who pops in his TARDIS, goes back 15 minutes, fixes the problem. It was a case of you got these portals that lead to these events, and you can change these events. And I do think it would have been nice if he would have been able to stop time when Kanan died and say, "Look, I can't save you, but I just want to say thank you," and then left it at that.
Oh, I don't know there because I actually quite like Kanan's send off, and he does. Kanan knows, and they all say goodbye in their own way, and that all works. You didn't need him to go and have that speech. Asuka, whatever her name is, I like how she is the one that prevents him from saving you because she says, "Look, if you do this, he won't save all of you." They handle Kanan's death very well. Do you want to know what happens at the end, or do you want to watch it?
No, I know that there's been enough videos talking about Star Wars stuff, so I already know that. That one of the characters two of the characters were written into the Return of the Jedi, which is the Green Lady and Rex.
General Sue, though. Yeah, Rex. Yeah.
So they were written into that because I actually appreciate that because there's a character who looks like him in the film. So that you could sit there and see him as Rex, and that kind of fits in. And I do appreciate the fact that they seem to have taken the time, and they've probably watched the film. They go, "That guy looks like Rex." Do you think we could get? And I appreciate the fact that there was some thought behind that to make it feel like a kind of part
was
of
at the battle of the first battle when they're stealing the plans of the Death Star because we see it.
Yeah. And we see Chopper go across the runway too.
And we see it at Yavin 4 on the launch pad right in the distance. The Ghost is there as well. So there's the opportunity to have another live action thing. And I like the fact they kept General Sir. I like the fact that Sabine stayed on Lothal. I like that I can't remember his name, and I've watched this twice and I had this all down. That they go, the other guy takes the sort of Empire traitor, and they go off and just find his people, and he realizes his people, he didn't kill them off, which I thought was really redeeming. But the thing I really found interesting, and this would be the route that I'd like them to go down, I'd like to see a series of Sabine and Ahsoka looking for Ezra, because I think that's interesting. The fact that he didn't kill off Thrawn was good, because Thrawn is a really cool bad guy. And, you know, he would have been a better bad guy than bloody any of the ones we've got in the latter episodes. So, I don't know. I liked how it ended. I liked the fact they didn't kill Ezra, but they found a decent enough explanation as to why Ezra isn't around. I liked that. And I think there's a lot more we could tell there. I think there could be like a search for Ezra kind of thing. I like, as I said, I like how it ended. I like how it was about liberating Lothal, because that's where pretty much a lot of the season 1, to an extent 3 and 4, have been. So I like that.
This is what I find really fucking funny. Yeah. Is that they harp on constantly about strong female characters, yeah? They've got Rebels, which they pretty much left alone. And they've got really good, strong female characters in
it.
Oh,
yeah, they have.
Yeah? They've got... They make sense. They're not
cliche.
They're not a man with a pair of tits slapped on them, yeah?
No.
And it's like kind of... Ahsoka... I can't say her name. Is it Ahsoka Katana? Who was... What's his mush's apprentice? Yeah.
Yes. Anakin's apprentice.
She's a great character. She's a great character.
She is. Yes.
Yeah. She's a great character. And then you've got what's a mush who was the Boba Fett race.
Sabine.
What they call Sabine. Yeah. She's another good character. Yeah. And it's one of these things. If you just leave someone alone and say, if you can put him in there, tend to do a fucking good job. These characters are great. These are the characters that you want. These are the droids you're looking for, not those fucking ones. Even Chopper is far more interesting than fucking R2-D2 and BB-8. If I had Chopper in a film, I'd be much happier. Yeah, because BB-8, okay, he's really cute, blah, blah, blah. Chopper's entertaining. Chopper
Because he's
is
a little
pissed
kid.
off. Yes, he's a little shit. That makes him far more interesting.
Yeah, but I do like how there's a brilliant bit just after Kanan's death, and Chopper walks up to Sadula, and he holds her hand, and I that almost brought a tear to my eye because I just thought that's just so good. That's just so much is said there without saying a word.
Yeah,
and it's a fucking cartoon, and it is a more powerful scene than anything in episode 7 and 8. Anything. It is more emotional. It is how they handled the death of Kanan, how they did everything through this. It's a kid's cartoon, yeah, but it's not. And those last 6 episodes, there's a lot there. There's a lot there that isn't kiddie, and yet they deliver it in such a way. And these guys, whoever's writing Rebels, should have been writing 7 and 8.
Dave Filoni is the guy. Dave Filoni, there's like an online campaign to get Dave Filoni to be the Kevin Feige of the fucking Star Wars world because he knows Star Wars. And given the fact that he's done that and he can hit those emotional tones, and he hired Tom Baker as a voice, which means he knows his fucking shit. Dave Filoni is the person you need to put in charge of Kathleen Kennedy. She can control all the finance side of it, but at the moment, when it comes to creative thing, she's bankrupt when it comes to creative side of it. Get Dave Filoni, make him your Kevin Feige, yeah? Get him to sit with Kevin Feige and get him to go through all the stuff. Because you remember Kevin Feige, he had done loads of Marvel films beforehand, yeah? And he had lots of experience. It's like I watched bloody Fantastic Four Silver Surfer the other day and I saw Kevin Feige's name come up. And then that crap Hulk film with Ang Lee did, his name was on that too, because he'd been working on these films and he'd figured out what had gone wrong. Where Dave Filoni's been working on the shows, he could put together a film for you. He could genuinely put together a film for you. I reckon that he should be the creative head. Kathleen Kennedy can still be in charge of the whole thing, and she can hold the fucking reins and tell him, you got to make sure that you get these things in. Because ask him to write a strong female character, you'll get someone interesting.
You say she should hold the reins. I'm not convinced she should. Because I don't think she's made very good decisions so far.
Well, you have to understand that Kathleen Kennedy's career is she's been working with top talent, yeah? So she hasn't had to control them as much. She's been working with people like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and you can leave them up to their own thing, yeah? These are people you can leave to their own thing, and you just have to come in and make sure the budget's being spent right. And I think that's the problem, is the fact that she worked with these people who could work so autonomously and get a result. Someone like Rian Johnson needed reining in.
But
and
I
she's
think
not used
half
to
of your
people.
issues with Rogue One are because they fucked with it. And I think that the film that Gareth Edwards wanted to put out, you would have been less critical of. I think part of your issue with Rogue One is the reshoots. Because if it's believed, I still like it, but it is glaringly obvious that there's a lot of reshoots in there that I tried to make it more light-hearted, and it didn't need it. It would have been a better, more powerful film if it had been the dark film that Edwards wanted to put out, because it would have made more of a statement. And I think they were scared. After episode 7 was the greatest hits, to suddenly put out this dark, not happy ending in many respects Star Wars film, that it would have killed off their thing, and I don't think it would have. I think the fans would have fucking lapped that up. And
okay, Dave Filoni is the man for us.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Right.
If you're listening to this and you're a Star Wars fan and you have never watched Rebels, don't be scared it's a kids' cartoon. Just go with it. There are episodes that are very kiddie, but just watch it, because actually, as a altogether, it is magnificent, and it is proper Star Wars, and there is so much cool shit in that. If you really forget Vader's 2-second cameo in Rogue One, if you want to know why he's so feared, why he's badass, season 2 of Rebels, it is fucking epic.
Yeah,
there's no other words.
He takes out half the Rebel fleet with one fucking ship. He really does, and he has to return because he's run out of things to shoot them with. It's just that last episode, that fight
when he turns up and fights Ahsoka, and how he makes his entrance is just fucking awesome.
Oh, riding his TIE fighter.
Riding his
That's
TIE
great.
fighter.
He's just levitates up, and you think I was using the Force to levitate. No, he's riding a TIE fighter like a badass.
I mean, there's another badass moment with Ezra right at the end where they think they've cornered Ezra, right? And again, it's a cartoon. You just wish they'd do this live action. But Ezra runs into this cave, and they go, "Oh, we've got you now. You're cornered," like that. And then the whole green lightsaber comes on thing. You go, "Oh, this is cool in the dark." And then all the wolf's eyes appear behind him, and then he just comes into the light with all these wolves behind him. You're just like, "Oh, that is so badass." And the wolves just obliterate the entire fucking Empire's fleet. But it's epic. Again, Rebels has got so many awesome Star Wars moments. It's just. I love it. I think Rebels was fantastic. You were the one that put me onto it, and you were so fucking right. It is awesome. And how it was quality to the end.
It was the best Star Wars property. I'm hoping that this Jon Favreau thing, because Jon Favreau's ironically was hired on International Women's Day, which pissed a lot of people off for what fucking reason, people? Yeah, seriously, for what fucking reason? He was hired on Women's Day to go and do a Star Wars TV show, and I'm hoping it's him and Dave Filoni together that are doing it. And if they're doing a live action one, I think that, given the production of Star Trek Discovery, I think you could get a decent fucking Star Wars TV show now.
If you have the production values of Discovery, and you do a Star Wars thing, and it's going to be on Disney's thing, which I bet you is exactly what they're gearing up to. They've seen Discovery and gone, "Ooh, hang on, people have paid for this. This has been a phenomenal success. We're about to launch our own pay-per-view thing. Oh, let's have a Star Wars live-action series." I bet you that's what it is. And I'll tell you what, I'm fucking up for it. I'm up for it, because if you can take the production values of Discovery and put them against the Star Wars series, you got something that has the potential to be fucking epic.
Yeah. Which would make the people making Star Trek Discovery go, "Oh, shit."
Yeah.
They wouldn't be too great with that. So, okay. Anything more on Star Wars?
Rian Johnson, you suck.
Ryan Johnson. I know Stephen Moffat listens to the podcast, but if we could get Ryan Johnson listening to the podcast, that would be awesome. That was always a running fucking joke from the last fucking podcast, wasn't it? We know you listen, Stephen, so listen to our fucking input. Good news, actually. Alan Cummings.
Yes, I saw this.
Gave away that he's going to be playing King James I in episode Doctor Who, which means that they might have the fucking TARDIS and do some time traveling shit in it.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be 1 or 2 episodes looking for the TARDIS, which is fine because they keep picturing it. It's in all the things. I don't think it's 12 episodes of trying to find the fucking TARDIS. Thank God. And Alan Cummings, he's a cool bad guy. I like Alan Cummings. I mean, he was great in The Good Wife, but I'm interested in. He could be quite a good bad guy. Actually, he's very camp. But that's perfect for Doctor Who. So
that's put a smile on my face because I was worried that it was going to be 12 episodes of Finding TARDIS.
Well, I said to you the other day when we released that quite cool poster that the TARDIS is in the background. I think we're going to have 1 or 2 episodes of it. Either that or the sheer fucking outcry from the fans when this was muted. Went, no, don't do this. Unlike, Rian Johnson, they listen to the fans.
I don't think they listen to the fans, I'm afraid, Keith. Sorry,
I think they do to a point. I think the BBC do to a point, actually. I do. I don't think they listen to them on the female doctor thing, but actually I still think this could work. I'm still holding out hope. I think she is quite a good actress, and having watched her in a few things, I'm thinking maybe she will work. They've just got to get the right companion, but they've always had to do that. Even when it was a male actor. So before you shoot me down, no, she doesn't need a man they need the right companion. It doesn't need to be a man, but it needs to be an interesting relationship.
Yes. Anyway, I think it's time we wrap this bastard up and put a bow on it.
Okay.
So this has been a bit of an extra long podcast, this one has. So it's probably about an hour and 15 minutes.
Depending on how long you two waffled on, yeah, possibly.
We did talk for about over half an hour, so yeah. Okay, so it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me. There's no Pavarotti at the end of this one. It was a one-off tribute.
Yes, no Pavarotti. That was good. That was a good one. I like that. So we'll catch you in the next podcast.
The Nox podcast.
The Nox podcast. That's what we should have called it, Nox podcast. That's a great name. But we'll catch you in the next podcast. Thank you for listening, and stay awesome.
Patent that name, by the way, just in case.
Nox with a K or without a K.
K, because you know. Okay. See you later, guys. Bye. Thanks for downloading the Monkey Nut Punch podcast. You can follow us on Twitter @Monkey Nut Punch. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Monkey Nut Punch.